Live.
Good evening, AOBE members, Brownsville ISD employees, and Brownsville. Uh, Tonight we have a very special guest, Ms. Silvia Garza Perez. I'm Veronica Borrego, the AOBE president, and we have Ms. Ida.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
We have Ms. Silvia Garza Perez, who is going to be talking to us a little bit about the census. I know I mentioned it last week and I have it up here. The 2020 census, we need to make sure that we're getting that done. So we're going to give the floor to Ms. Garza Perez. I'm going to take Ida off the screen so we can have a little bit more focus and have Ms. Garza Perez tell us the importance of the census. We'll see you in a minute, Ida.
Okay.
No problem.
Vero, thank you so much for having me on your show today. And a big shout out to all of BISD employees, everyone, your AOB members as well. We are already about almost 2 weeks away from ending the 2020 census. I want to apologize for being in a hat and being with my frizz hair, but we just finished a 2020 census outreach out in Precinct 1 with Commissioner Sofia Benavides and her crew, and we had about 194 vehicles go through there so that we could do census intake. I want to remind everyone out there that the census is vitally important, and it's vitally important.
Oh, I think she disconnected. We'll wait for her to log back in. There she is. There you are.
I don't know what I did.
It's okay.
Okay. Something's going on with my phone. Anyway, when you're looking at the census, the money that we get impacts everyone, every city, every school district, every county across Texas. We have an opportunity to bring in over $600 billion of in 2010, Cameron County was one of the counties that filed a lawsuit because we were undercounted. And because of that undercount, we lost about $22,800,000 in federal funding. So wow. if you're thinking, if you're out there, you're saying, well, what does it matter? Well, it matters a lot. And let me tell you why. Just recently, when we did the disbursement of the CARE Act dollars, because our county was one of the counties that was below 500,000 in population, okay, when they distributed the money, Hidalgo County, who is over 500,000, their per capita was $110 per resident that county received. Whereas Cameron County, instead of that full amount coming to us, it goes to the state. The state then decides how to disperse it. And so for Cameron County, we only got $55 per capita.
Oh my God.
That's a big discrepancy in dollars. And do we need it? Let me tell you, one of the most important things you need to understand is that every organization in the United States has been affected by this pandemic. What does that mean for your school district? What that means is in 10 years, we're going to have to recoup all the extra money that has been spent on your laptops, on your computers, all the extra effort and work that you're having to hit on your budget to get the kids online. And most of them are not getting online because they don't have connection. We need to get the federal funding to increase our broadband expansion here in this area. We need federal funding to build and improve our schools. We need federal funding to continue funding the programs that we have at the schools right now, our lunch program, our pre-K programs, our 3-year-old programs, our special ed programs, our dyslexia programs. All those programs come because of federal funding. When you don't get that federal funding, guess what? Less and less services for our students, less and less services for our families. And it doesn't matter. The census doesn't count whether you're a citizen or not. What counts is the fact that that these children are going to your schools. Let me give you an example. In 2010, 5% of the children that were not counted were children under the age of 5. Okay. Those children to date are anywhere between 10 and 15 years of age. If they're a student in BISD, guess what? You've not received one federal dollar for them in the last 10 years. Why? Wow. Because they were not part of the count. On average, any school district that's within a low-income area, which is what our county is, receives on average, when we count all the federal dollars, about $13,119 per student over a 10-year period, every year for 10 years, okay? That
Okay.
includes everything. That's including federal funding for the lunch program, pre-K, all those programs. So when you count 13,119, that's a lot of money over a 10-year period. If you have a class of 10 students and only one student out of those 10 gets counted, that 13,000 gets divided by 10 students instead of going to each one of them. That's why it's important to get counted. Every time that I hear people say, well, we don't get this, we don't have this program, we don't have these special services, we don't have this, we don't have it because we're not being counted. If we count all your students that go to your schools, whether they're documented or undocumented, they're still using your school district. They're still going to your classrooms. They're still part of the classroom that you're teaching. They're still part of the mix. We need to make sure that every child, no matter who they are, what color they are, no matter where they come from, if they're in your schools, they need to be counted. And how can they get counted? They got to get the parents to get them to get counted. You need to help us get the parents to count them. It doesn't matter. Right now, guys, we are about to lose a lot of funding. And let me tell you why. In 2010, we completed our census at 56.4%. Currently, Cameron County is at 50.2%. 50.2%. Okay, if we lost $22,800,000 in 2010, imagine what we're going to lose now. And the person that sits at the top of the bank right now in Washington doesn't give diddly squat if Cameron County gets counted or if BISD is getting what they need to get. So right now, I'm making a plea to you. We've got less than 2 weeks to get everybody counted. We need your help. I'm here to answer any of, but I'm going to tell you this is so important for the people that you know, the causeway for the island. In order to build that, in order to expand our highways or streets, we need federal funds. In order to make sure our kids have an opportunity and they don't pay and don't come back to our area, we need to create better. The census does that. In order to bring big business here, we need to have everyone counted so they can understand the demographics of how many men, how many children, what age groups we have, so that we can attract better business to our community. But we can't do it because we're getting counted.
Can you explain? I know you've been saying the 10 years. I know that I know what the 10 years, why you keep saying 10 years, but can you explain why you keep saying the 10 years? Like in other words,
Yes. The census is done every 10 years. So one time every 10 years we get counted. So 2010 we got counted. This impact, whatever our final count is on November 30th, 20, that's going to, does that question, Vero?
Yes. So basically what it is, and it, the deadline is, you said September 30th, right?
Original deadline was July 31st, and then the pandemic hit us. Once that hit us,
so
Washington decided to give us an extension. They had originally told us it was going to be October 31st. On July 30th, 2020, they sent us an email and said, guess what? Your time's up. September 30th is the last day. So now we've been trying to play catch up. And as you all know very well, you're going through that right now, is that the social distancing, the face mask, the face-to-face, all that's been very limited. So how do you go knock on doors? How do you have contact with people? We've been trying to implement ways to figure that out. And we've had some outreach events, and I got to make sure everybody's wearing their mask, everybody's, 6 feet away from each other, that we're following all those guidelines. It's been difficult, but we've been able to do some. But all the plans that we had made with every school district and over a year and a half ago went down the drain in March when, boom, everything was shut down. Everybody went home. So we weren't able to get in front of the parents. We weren't able to get in front of the students. We were down for almost, I would tell you, probably the whole month of June, everybody, because the pandemic just spread wildly. So it
Yeah.
was less and less contact. So between June and July, we lost about 60 days there. And now we're trying to play catch up. So they tell us on July 31st, guess what? You got less time. So now we're down to 2 weeks. We're on the wire. We really need to make this count. I myself, working with a lot of the other elected officials across the county, are trying to do a lot of outreach events. I mean, we've had anywhere from 1 to 2 events every week, and I can't wait till October 1st. Believe me, I really want to make my last effort to tell everybody this is so important. If you really care about your children, if you care about your grandchildren, if you care about the kids that live in this area, the kids that live in this country, you have to be counted. We cannot allow our community to be undercounted again and not receive the federal funding it deserves. I think our schools are in need of all this federal funding. I think our programs deserve that federal funding. And I really believe that we adults are responsible for this. A child cannot go in and complete the census. They cannot count themselves. But you as a parent, you have that opportunity. So it's with a broken heart that I tell you we're under what we were expecting to be. We really, really need you as an educator, as a teacher, a manager, a principal, an administrator, if you're listening, to do your part and help us get your children counted, because this federal funding comes to your school and impacts each one of you. So all I can do is we got to work together. This is no time to say, it's your team, it's your turn, it's not my turn, it's everybody's turn. This is a time where we're going to make a big difference for our county and for our state.
Right. And so I think the major thing here is that whatever happens on that day, we can't fix it anymore for 10 more years.
And we gotta wait 10 more years. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we just need to make sure that our community in general, but especially our district, receives the funding that it needs to receive, and that is due to us. Very, very important. I know we mentioned this a few weeks back, where it could be a lesson for an easy lesson or an easy grade for middle, elementary, all the way up to high school, to have the parents fill it out, show proof that they filled it out, and you get an extra credit grade. We did receive a call on the census from the superintendent, I believe, this past week or a couple of days ago, him also asking that we push for the census to be filled. And again, because the money is going to come to our district, that is very much needed. So I just wanted to give you the opportunity to come and explain. I don't know if there's any questions. I don't see any questions in the chat right now, but I do have a few questions as far as the funding and what it can be used for in the district. So it can be used for, like you explained, special ed and dyslexia and different programs like that. What specifically can it be used for? Is it using? Can they also use it for building improvements and different things like that?
Definitely. Yes, definitely. The U.S. Census has online a booklet that explains. It's about 23 pages long of all the different programs that federal funding covers. Okay, it's 23 pages long. I went through it and I was like, wow. There's even there's an article on there, and I don't know if I have it in my car. Let me see. I'm in my vehicle, so I apologize, but it's also my second home. Let me see if I have it here. You might get lucky. Let me see. It's the uses of census data and federal funds distribution. So this particular book, you can download it from the U.S. Census website, and okay. I'm going to talk about some of the programs, and you can see the census program will cover anything from, let me see here, adult education basic grants to states, maternal and child health services block grant to the states, capital assistance programs for elderly programs and persons with disabilities, special education grants for infants and families, water and waste disposal systems for rural communities, cooperative extension services, senior community service employment programs, special education preschool grants, AmeriCorps assistance to firefighters grant, emergency food assistance programs, emergency shelter grant programs, child welfare services state programs, community facilities loans and grants, payments to agricultural experiment stations under the Hatch Act, national motor carrier safety, housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, uh, career and technical education, basic grants to states, home investment partnership programs, rural rental assistance programs, English language acquisition grants, wildlife restoration, public housing capital fund, community development block grants and state programs, and non-entitlement grants and entitlement grants, child and adult care food programs, formula grants for rural areas. I mean, it's a very long book.
That is
Those are
amazing.
those are things that we receive federal funding for under the census. When the census is completed, these are all the programs that receive that federal funding. So the more money you need or more grants you need, of course, we have to be counted, because that will determine how much money we're going to get per capita per individual in our area, in our
Okay.
county,
Mhm.
and our state.
Okay.
And
Do you have?
do I want to mention is 10 years ago when we did the census, it was a paper form. You had to mail it in, or people would go knock at your door. This year is the first year that we've actually got virtual. So you can go online to 2020census.gov and complete it online. And it's 5 minutes.
I did mine online. It was not hard to do. I can, if you can give me the website, I can post it in the chat so people can go to the link.
Yeah, it's 2020census.gov. And then it tells you on there, respond to questionnaire. Once you click, and it'll take you to the next one. And it'll ask you if you have an identification number. You don't need one. You can click under I don't have it. Once you click on there, it takes less than 5 minutes to complete.
Okay, so very important that you understand that the no identification number means they are not going to be checking if you are a
citizen or not. Yeah.
Right. That's important, because I think a lot of people are afraid, right, to fill it out because they're afraid they're going to be looking for them or whatever. So just know that that's what that is for specifically, that they were not going to be looking for that.
Yes. The other thing I want to share with your audience is we've done a lot of partnerships with a lot of business leaders out in the communities. And currently we've partnered with Region 1 and with other private business entities. And we have a scholarship available for students in high school or in college under the RGV Census scholarship.org. That's the website. And let me see if I have that in my car, because I don't think I have it. It's RGV Census scholarship.org. So let me tell you what you can do. If you have a college student or you have a high school student and they go out or they make phone calls and they get people that they know, aunts, uncles, cousins, to complete the census because they haven't done it, all the student needs to do is make sure they complete the census. Once they finish it, they print the receipt online. There's a receipt it gives you, it says you have completed, and it gives you a serial number. If the student, if they print that out, the student then gets it and puts their name on it and submits it via email to the scholarship program. Their name will go in for the drawing. They can do as many as they want, or they can go out and recruit 50 families or 60 families, and they can submit it as long as they don't repeat the address twice. It has to be only one address, okay? So this is a great opportunity for students that are in high school to do a civic engagement project. It's a great opportunity for college students to, if they can't, if they need money for school, it's a great opportunity for them to get some extra money for books or help them pay some tuition. We'll probably, I think we've raised about $50,000 for Cameron County. So we'll be giving out $1,000 scholarships to the students. And right now, I do want to share with you that Cameron County has probably had the most submissions.
Oh, wow.
So I want to encourage the teachers, you know, those of you that are teach high school, or you have some college students that are already taking AP classes and they're taking high school and college courses, this is a great opportunity for them to be able to get some extra money to go to school.
Yes, very good opportunity. I went ahead and I put the 2020census.gov on the chat, and I also put the rgvcensusscholarship.org. I will get that information from Ms. Garza Perez, and we will post it on our AOBE Facebook page so that you can easily access the link, more easily access either one of those links if you're going to log into them. And we just want we need your help, right? So we need the community's help. We need the educators' help, everybody's help. So we just wanted you to come on and explain and the importance of it, because sometimes people don't really understand what it means. Like, what does it matter if I count or if I don't count? It matters. It matters to the improvement of the city. It matters to the school district. It matters to the community. It just makes a big impact and a big difference. So we wanted you to come out and share that information with us. I don't know if you have any other websites or anything else that you want to share that we can post on the chat, or any other information that you want to give us.
So I would like to tell the audience that on September 21st, we're going to be hosting a telethon, a 2020 Census telethon, live from the Dancy building here in Brownsville. And we're going to be on, I believe it's Telemundo. We did a commercial today, so it'll start airing next week. From 3 to 6 p.m., we'll be taking phone calls. Anybody who wants to call in and do their census with any elected official. And Vero, if you or Ida want to be some of our guests to be helping us with that, cordially invite you to participate. We're trying to get people signed up, trying to get some of your school board members to get signed up. Some of the administrators for BISD, we reached out to your superintendent. We haven't heard from him yet, but we're trying to get them to sign up for at least 20 to 30 minutes and take phone calls so that people have the opportunity to listen to the leaders in the community and that they know that we're all buying into it. We all want you to be a part of it. We want everyone to be a part of it, and we need to bring the community together. We're also, for every family, for the people that call in and they do complete the census during the telethon, their name's going to go in a raffle for a $50 HEB gift card. And we're going to have close to, I would say, about maybe $3,000 worth of $50 gift cards that we're going to be giving out during that time for the people that call in. It'll be on September 21st from 3 to 6 p.m. and we'll have some commercials running on Telemundo about it. So I want to invite you guys, if you or Ida want to be on there and help us answer phones, I'd love to have you guys there. Your school board members, I would love to have them sign up. I would also like your superintendent to come and be a part of it, because when leaders are part of the community, things happen. But when we step back and we let anything happen, then we bring people together. Everybody that's in a position of authority or in a position, like the Bible says, we have to pray for those in authority. When we have people in authority and we bring them together.
Not sure what happened. Okay, I think it's frozen. Okay, so I have just a reminder, on September 21st will be the telethon from 3 to 6 p.m. and anybody who submits their census through there will be their name will be submitted through for a raffle for $50 for an HEB gift card. Again, very important that we make ourselves count. And let me bring Ida back on. Are you ready, Ida? I don't know what happened. I think she lost service or something, but which is
why we need more funding for this area so we can have better internet in all areas.
And so very important, again, I put the 2020census.gov in the chat. I also put the scholarship link on the chat as well. Once we are off, we will put that up on our Facebook page as well, so you can have that information, and maybe try to put it. We could probably put it on our website, right? In case so people don't have to be looking through like the feeds and stuff. And again, September 21st, the telethon, she didn't get to give us the phone number, but once we get that information for you to call in and do it over the phone, we can do that. I did mine online. It was pretty easy. It didn't take too long. So, you know, it matters. We just need to make sure that we do as much as we can to improve our community. And the federal funds are needed to do that. So that we wanted to bring Ms. Garza Perez on so that she could give us that information, because it is vital that we count and that we provide the correct numbers to this program, the 2020 census. So with that said, and in case Ms. Garza Perez comes on, we'll go back in and give her few minutes left. But I want to thank her for taking the time. She had been at an event where she said there were almost 200 cars that came in and did their census. And so, you know, she was tired and she was kind of embarrassed because she had a cap on or whatever, but I told her she looked beautiful. And so we just want to thank her.
Her phone died, that's why.
Oh, okay. Well, we want to thank her for taking the time to come on to the show and give us the information that we need to know what the census is about.
Yes, she has definitely been working hard in the community to bring awareness of the importance of the census. So we do thank her for all of her efforts because it does help the entire community in our area. So thank you, Ms. Sylvia Perez.
Yes, thank you very much. And so now we are going to move on to harassment and bullying in the workplace.
What a topic, I know. So we know that harassment and bullying is very up and active in BISD.
It is alive and well.
It sure is. And we want to address any questions that any audience members might have. I'm going to speak on some of the just general issues that we've been having, very common issues of what is being asked of the employees and in regards to your rights. So I know we did cover this topic. This was one of the topics we covered on our first show, but it's sad to say that with everything that the employees are going through, we are seeing a increase still of the harassment and bullying our employees to doing certain things such as reporting to the workplace, participating in different events, and things like that. So there's been quite a bit of concerns with that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us about that. And we're going to talk about that as far as what we've experienced. But first, we wanted to touch lightly on the school board meeting today. There's a school board meeting still going on. And we did speak at the beginning of the school board meeting. And I don't know if people have been following it or not, but we have had a few issues where they keep limiting or cutting us off with our time, closely monitoring the 3-minute limit on that. So
only yours, Ida.
Yes, another perfect example of bullying. And with that is the reason why at the beginning, before I started speaking today at the school board meeting, I asked Mr. Salazar for clarification as to, even though I do know how it's supposed to work, but we have issues when certain people get cut off or interrupted, and then other people are allowed to continue to go on. Other people can ask for an extension, and they're given the extension of the time. So when I asked today, what is the process, before Mr. Salazar could respond, Ms. Minerva Peña said that she wanted to answer that everybody is given 3 minutes. And if they politely ask for additional time, they will grant a few more seconds or a little bit of additional time for them. So when we did not see that even in today's meeting, and that's exactly what we're talking about with the issues of how they indirectly try to harass you or give you a difficult time with trying to do something. And this is just another example of it. So, yeah, it's another, yes, perfect example of the inequity across the school district. So there was another speaker. He was not interrupted in time. I did not see him ask for additional time. He went a little bit over 4 minutes, and I have no issue with that. The thing is that we have to be fair across the board, and that's where we have problems, because the issues that we're bringing to public comments are issues that are brought to us by the membership. It's not issues that we're making up. It's not issues that benefit me or benefit Veronica. So it's issues that we want answers to. And because this superintendent has the tendency of not responding to emails or answering questions, he leaves us no choice but to ask the questions through public comments. And we've made it clear before, that's not the type of relationship we've had before with the administration. We usually can address the issues, and we, behind closed doors, before the issue, gets to another level, and we're able to resolve it. But this administration does not make that possible. So with all of that being said, we saw it again at today's school board meeting, and unfortunately, after we spoke, they mentioned about how some of the things that we addressed were the issues of the hotspots going over their data limits within 2 weeks, the issues of not all students being given the devices that they needed, the issues of the platforms with the Google Meets. That is a big issue, because it's a platform that was forced on these teachers, and they've been having issues left and right, which gives us, it leaves the question of, well, what research was done to decide as to why we went with this platform? It makes no sense. There's so many issues with it, and it's not even in compliance with FERPA or HIPAA. So we're in violation with that. And so it makes no sense. And again, we're just trying to get answers. But Dr. Gutierrez said and made a few comments about, it's just one person's comment. That does not speak for the 6,500 employees, and that does not speak for all the students. So again, that was a little upsetting, because these are comments that we're hearing them day after day.
It's minimizing and mocking what people are going through, because it's not one phone call that we're getting.
Exactly.
We are literally bombarded with calls, and most of the calls are valid points. It's not one phone call. It's not just me speaking. It's not just Ida speaking. I'm speaking for thousands. I'm not speaking for myself. I'm not a nurse, but I'm speaking for nurses, because a lot of them are afraid to come and get on the camera because of the retaliation that will come from them getting up on the camera and speaking. Mm-hmm. So they won't do it.
And we saw it at the board meeting when the doctors went to speak We asked the doctors to speak in regards to the risk of COVID and returning to face-to-face. And they were very rude and disrespectful to these doctors. And so we've seen that, and also to other guest speakers. So that discourages people from getting involved, from wanting to share their concerns. And they need to realize that they need to not take this personal. This is addressing issues so we can create a better work environment. Like they have said several times, this is new to everyone. So why do they expect to have all the answers? It's only going to be by listening to your employees, your frontline people that are out there. And if you refuse to listen to them, then we're never going to really address all the true issues that are going on out there. We can pretend all day that everything's all hunky-dory and it's perfect, but it's not. I mean, we have teachers that are very burnt out, counselors, nurses, they're so exhausted because of how the district is moving forward at this time. The lack of communication, everything else, the lack of respect for one another that's coming from the top and is trickling down. And that's not a way to be working. I mean, we are all under enough stress as it is, but to continue to add to that stress, it's just, right now is not the time, definitely not the time for that. So, so we are asking that if you do have issues with that, please let us know. But one of the things that we have seen is, for example, we had issues with campuses being shut down. And we can say here that, and I think everybody has been aware of Bestedo Middle School, that there was several positive cases there. Okay, well, the issue came because apparently some of the custodians were also became ill there, and they started to all of a sudden pull custodians from other campuses. And what they said was, well, it's because this is the protocol that we have for disinfecting schools. We are to pull a custodian from every campus, and they are going to go and disinfect the positive campuses. Okay, so when did this change come to be? And
well, because nothing's in writing, Ida.
Exactly. And that is the problem, that we continue to change the rules. And one of the things that Dr. Gutierrez is very popular for, that everybody is seeing, is that he will try to put the least amount of things in writing. And be it that he's trying to stay clear of this, wash his hands of anything, or he thinks that he won't be held responsible for the decisions. But as superintendent of the schools, especially of a district this size, you need to be responsible for. Yeah,
there's accountability, and well, there's a lack of it right now. But nothing being put in writing is a way to keep from being held accountable. I mean,
absolutely. And that's what we saw with that of the sudden rule of now we are going to pull one custodian out of each campus, when these campuses the week before disinfected their own campus when there was a positive case there. Right. So it's just a lot of concerns like that. And our recommendation is, when you are being told to do something like that, to go and you're given these verbal directives, which is the trend now, that we give the verbal directives, because at the end we can all backtrack all we want and say, well, I didn't exactly say that.
That's not how I said it. That's not how I meant it.
Yes, I didn't say that they had to do that. And I have seen that already happen. So you need to take it upon yourself to put it in writing, and you make that request in writing. And you could say, whatever, it depends on your situation. Like, for example, in that situation, you simply just send an email to the immediate supervisor saying, due to not having proper PPE, and sorry, excuse me, I cannot follow the directive you are giving me because I feel it is risking my life because I do not have proper PPE. And then you can ask specifically for them to tell you, due to not having the proper PPE, what materials will be provided for me and what safety precautions will be taken. And
yeah, because from what I understand too, Ida, they were not only pulling the custodians, they were also in the beginning asking them to bring their own cleaning supplies from their own campus, which, why would, and then whatever masks or gloves or anything they bought for themselves for their campus, they're having to take over there. But then what happens when their campus gets infected? I mean,
exactly. And that was the thing that, I mean, it's unbelievable because at the board meeting, they made it seem like, oh, we're just making all of this up, because they were showing some beautiful numbers on the screen of the PPE that's been provided to all the campuses. But yet that is not what we're getting from the members.
no.
I'd understand if it was maybe one person that was complaining, but by the number of calls that we've been receiving, messages, emails, Facebook Messenger, all of these things, by that amount, okay, so obviously there is an issue, because we're not just talking one person or two or even five. We're talking a lot of members that are saying the same thing. So this is where we have to reach a point and say, enough is enough. We need to stand together in solidarity here, and we need to put our foot down and say, we deserve better than this. We deserve the respect as employees, and we're going to demand that. And we're not going to just sit back and let them walk all over us. Today I did see also the other associations speak up and saying that, oh, they were sad to find out that I didn't understand fully what one of the associations was saying, because he mumbles somewhat, but he was saying something about that he was sad to hear that proper PPE wasn't being provided and this and that. It's like, where have you been? We've been screaming this since April, since people were at the end of March, when people were being told to report to work. This isn't something that's new. So you know what? We might sound like a broken record, but this is stuff that's going on out there.
Right.
And as long as we continue to see the positive cases around the district, as long as we continue to see the death toll rising, we cannot back down, and we will not back down. We expect more from this administration. We expect more from the superintendent and these deputies that are very well paid. And we are going to demand that. And if they are not fit to do it, then it's time to take action.
Right.
So,
and that I mean, we're focusing on that, but there are so many, I mean, talking about the devices and things like that. When were they ordered? When was that stuff ordered? I mean, exactly. You cannot say, yes, there's all these people. Yeah, but we've known since last year that this was happening and that it was a possibility for us to stay home. Why were they not ordered in the summer?
Exactly.
They were not ordered in the summer.
Well, that's not what they said. They've been saying that all of these hundreds of thousands of dollars have been ordered since I don't know when. And that's why Dr. Cantu mentioned on today's meeting that they were so excited to see some of the material that came in. And so it's like, okay, I mean, I find it hard to believe if we were being so proactive as they're claiming that they were being. Um, the equipment is barely coming in. Other districts aren't having those issues. The districts that are having issues are the ones that took very long in ordering this equipment. So what is being said, again, it goes back to what is being said at the school board meetings, and the show that is being put on there is not what is being taken back and being done at the district. So that is our issue. That is our concern. And we're going to continue to address it. It's not about being negative. It's not about being naysayers. It's about, this is what our members are bringing to us. And as long as they continue to bring it to us, the majority of the people have concerns and valid concerns and issues. We're going to continue to address them.
Now, I do want to make a clarification, because that was another comment that was made, Ida, remember, about how we're blaming the principals?
Oh yeah, definitely not. That was one thing that Dr. Cantu said. I can assure you that no principal is holding on to material. We wanted to be very clear. We did not say there's any principals holding on to the material, that they're not wanting to pass out, distribute material or PPE. It is not that. They don't have it.
They don't have it to pass out. And that's not on them.
Yeah, exactly. We have amazing principals and administrators, teachers, and all staff, custodians, food service, every single type of staff person that we have as members. They are amazing, doing an amazing job with what they have been given. So we commend all of them for still hanging on to their to BISD and for their sanity, to hold on to that. It is very difficult.
Now I am going to say, Ida, and sorry to interrupt you, but I am going to say they are the ones in the front line fielding the calls from upset parents. It is not their fault. It is not their fault. It is not the campus level fault.
No, it is not. It is definitely not. And I'll be very clear as to what my comments were about, and you can speak on the comments that you mentioned there. But all of my issues, I completely and absolutely blame them on the superintendent and the two deputy superintendents. Okay, I am not blaming any teacher, administrator, or any other. I'm not even blaming any other area administrator or assistant superintendent. Okay, I am blaming them from the very top, because either it is the lack of knowledge or the fear of letting other people into the little circle that they have in order to come up with a clear and equitable plan for this district at this time. So I am sorry. And for him to say, for the superintendent to say that, oh, this is just one complaint. No, it is not, sir.
It's easy for you to complain from behind your desk, Ida.
Yes, exactly. When you're not out there, when you're not taking the calls from the employees, where they are wanting to already walk out the door because they cannot take it, and we are asking them, just give us a little bit more time to address this. We will find a way to get across to them, to make them see how they need to be fair. They don't get those calls, and they cannot say, the superintendent and the deputy superintendents cannot say that they have not gotten this information, because we have shared the information, even though we do not disclose who it comes from. But we do share the information as to what issues are going on out there, but yet they don't want to address them. And that's where, everybody is tired, including us. So if you do not change, then we just have to do what we need to do in order to bring about that change.
Yeah.
I think there's a question on one of the comments.
A question? I don't see comments, Ida.
click at the top. Not you see how it says private chat and then it says comments. Click on the comments side.
Yeah, no, there's not, like, I'm not getting a question.
Oh, okay. I see.
Who is it from?
Lupita Murillo saying the proclamation that was passed is not being honored. And that is correct. That is another thing, that the proclamation where it states that they will not return until it is safe, is scientifically proven safe. Apparently that went out the window because now they're talking about all these different dates. So another perfect
example.
What
happens, Ida, if that was already voted on and the board approved that? What happens to that? It just becomes null and void? Or what is supposed to happen? Don't they have to go back and revisit that? I mean, I don't understand what's.
I am sure that they are going to. They know. They have a very highly paid attorney, and they know that they have to either rescind it or amend it. But where it becomes an issue is that it is very clear of what they approved. They never intended to really carry that out because of all the plans and arrangements that are being done at the campus level, and what the principals are being told to do. Prepare the campuses for possible opening of the campuses by the end of the month. And then we have this item on the agenda for tonight, which again was a bunch of, it was really another part of a show, I guess, because it was not clear as to what that item was to approve. So yes, we're going to continue to monitor that, but he could not give a clear-cut answer as to if it's going to be for the entire fall semester.
Yeah.
Can we question that? Yeah, we definitely can question it, but not until they violate it. So as of right now, they are still doing what is on there, and he can go back and say it's just preparing. We're not going back.
Yep.
There we go. We just got the equipment. They still need to tag, program, and deliver. It could be, well, you see, it could be be another 3 to 4 weeks until this equipment gets to our students. So you see, so I guess that what makes it now 2 people that is saying it, because I said it earlier and now Miss Tanya is saying it. That's her thing. These are the calls that we get from the frustrated teachers, and we don't blame them. So obviously the students don't have them. How do they want to hold the students accountable for their grades and hold the teachers accountable for their grades and for instruction when the students do not have what they need? Which is why what we said at today's public comments of, it's very obvious that what they're trying to do is set up these teachers and students for failure for remote distance learning, because they're making it almost nearly impossible to do it. They've had the same amount of times as other districts had, as McAllen had, and everybody entered this pandemic at the same time. So why are we not prepared? We are not prepared to continue with distance learning. We're also not prepared to fully return to the classroom. Look at the amount of staff that we have at the campuses, and they cannot control the outbreaks. They cannot safely disinfect the campuses. They are putting people at risk. It's just not right.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking about the Reading Academy. So far, I have 66 hours in professional development now. Reading Academies. Yes, you spoke on that one, Miss Veronica.
Yes, I did. I had a lot of calls on it of people very upset because of all the extra work. Just the fact that it's hours and hours for each module. And then on top of that, you have to do discussion posts, you have to do projects, you have to read all these chapters, you have to, when are we supposed to do that? And then when the question was posed as to if the district was going to compensate, the presenter said, well, we would have to ask our district. And then the question of, okay, well, if we're not going to get paid for it, are we going to do it during the workday? Those questions couldn't be answered. And so this only applies to the lower grades. And, we were told we had a year to complete. Why we're starting it right now is beyond me, because it's not due for another 2 years, I think. And what is the reason for starting it right now when people are already overwhelmed? I don't understand.
Exactly. I mean, but it's because when you're making all the decisions at the top without the input of the people that it is actually impacting, you don't know what it's causing. So
Right.
they have no clue about the teachers that are up until midnight trying to complete all these different things. And on top of that, oh yes, let's throw this more PD because that's gonna, fix everything. No, I mean, we're burning them out. Those are literally their words, not mine. I feel so burnt out.
Yeah, and we understand that it's part of HB3, and that it's coming from the state. But if it's not due until 2023 or 2022, 2023, why are we pushing it and making it right now when everybody is just barely starting the year? We're still doing distance learning. We're still trying to get through the glitches. We're still trying to figure out what's going on. Are we coming back or not? Why do it right now? It's just something else to add to the stress of the employees. It shouldn't be happening like that. We should have more compassion for what people are going through.
Definitely. So I think, I don't know if you want to move on to the next item. We're coming up on the hour.
Yes, ma'am. Can you see it, Ida?
I can see it. So at this time, what we're going to do, it has come to this point. We have tried every single thing to do to try to communicate with Dr. Gutierrez and this administration or his top cabinet administration. And it's left us no other choice but to go ahead and launch a petition for a vote of no confidence on Dr. Rene Gutierrez. Like I mentioned, we hate that this is going to bring some bad publicity to BISD, but it's left us no choice because it's putting the lives of our members on the line here. And we cannot sit back and, just because he chooses to ignore the issues, we cannot sit back and do that. So we are going to go ahead and launch a petition. We are going to push this petition to the community, to the employees, to the parents, and everyone else possible, okay? And see how many signatures we can get on this petition and present this to the current board, because the employees are tired, the students are frustrated, and there is no reason to be like that 3 weeks into instruction of the school year. So I think we're going to go over the wording of the actual petition that we are going to present to the school board for a vote of no confidence on the superintendent.
Yes, and let me bring it up.
Please let us know in your comment section if you have any questions.
Yes. For some reason, Ida, I'm getting very few.
Okay, I can read them. The ones.
We, the undersigned, resolve and present our concerns to the Brownsville Independent School District Board of Trustees and respectfully request for the entrusted members to consider a vote of no confidence for Dr. Rene Gutierrez for his failure to effectively lead our school district prior to and especially during this catastrophic pandemic. Dr. Gutierrez has unfortunately demonstrated a high disregard for the BISD community by frequently isolating and failing to communicate effectively with all necessary affected groups. Furthermore, he has failed to lead the district efficiently and effectively to operating safely during this pandemic. It is truly unfortunate the current state Brownsville ISD is in under the leadership of Dr. Gutierrez. This lack of leadership has caused many community members, students, parents, and employees to completely lose trust, faith, and confidence in the institution and has deteriorated the image of Brownsville ISD as a whole. Whereas it is expected of the BISD superintendent be competent, transparent, concerned with the well-being of students, staff, and community, and committed to the mission of the district. Instead, Dr. Gutierrez has fostered an environment of disrespect, hostility, retaliation, and an all-time low morale amongst all groups. Dr. Gutierrez has established a pattern and practice of inequitable treatment of campus and department personnel. His lack of leadership, mismanagement, and poor administrative decisions have damaged the relationship between the administration and staff of campuses and departments. Dr. Gutierrez has established an unwritten rule of putting the least number of guidelines and changes in memo format since this COVID-19 pandemic started in March of 2020. He addresses administrators and principals with only verbal instructions and directives, therefore leaving room for misinterpretation or inconsistent application of critical and yet constantly changing guidelines from the Texas Education Agency, local, state, and national mandates. Whereas the superintendent's administrative priorities are not aligned with our current harsh reality of COVID-19 in Cameron County and in the state. This has caused for many BISD employees to feel disengaged, endangered, and with low morale, and has additionally caused for the district to lose talented and skilled staff members due to their fear of exposure to the deadly virus. Instead of Dr. Gutierrez providing a true health and safety plan, the district has endured extreme disregard for their well-being and safety under Dr. Gutierrez's leadership. Dr. Gutierrez has contributed in significant inequities of employees working remotely, egregious violations of Families First Coronavirus Response Act, and failure to assist employees who have requested to work remotely due to the compromised health conditions and or the need for childcare. Instead, employees who requested accommodations were profiled as lazy or not wanting to work. This has caused for more employees to be placed at risk while on the work sites. Requiring large number of employees to report to work has obviously contributed to an increase of coronavirus cases within the Brownsville community. Dr. Gutierrez has only demonstrated total disregard and neglect for the well-being and safety of all employees by not ensuring all employees were provided appropriate PPE and instead began providing years-old expired hand sanitizers. Task Force Committee was not a representation of all employees. The BISD safety plan presented to school board is lacking in many areas to provide adequate guidance and resources to all staff regarding critical health and safety concerns. Certification and training on FERPA and HIPAA laws was not provided to corresponding employees. Failed to enforce contact tracing for positive COVID-19 cases. No official and consistent protocols for disinfecting and evacuating positive COVID-19 areas or spaces, and failure to provide proper PPE to all employees required to report to the workplace. Students are being denied an education and learning requirements as set forth by the state. Dr. Gutierrez failed to adequately plan, research, and ultimately negatively impact the students' learning process by not providing adequate hotspots, devices with adequate mobile plans to allow for use the whole month and not exceed data use within 2 weeks. Chromebook devices are not provided to all students 6 months into this COVID-19 pandemic. Mandated teaching platforms such as Google Meets with no input or recommendations from teachers as to what was needed to use those platforms effectively. Teachers were not properly instructed as to use of Google Meets, no passwords for safety, no waiting rooms, cannot lock classrooms, cannot control or stop the chat comments. Students can log in before the teacher logs in, cannot view the entire class, cannot share the screen without the loss of seeing the class, and very limited extensions. Whereas the employees, an increasingly large and dedicated group concerned with the well-being of the students and the district, have moved from a concern about their own personal livelihoods to now having a deep and well-motivated concern for people's lives. Several attempts to address workplace safety, health, and instructional issues with Dr. Gutierrez have gone unheeded. We feel that the relationship with Dr. Gutierrez is irreparable. He has brought morale to an all-time low. His lack of leadership, lack of transparency, and poor management style has led to early retirement of employees, poor retention, and recruitment of qualified personnel. A bad leader can take a good staff and destroy it, thereby causing the best employees to leave BISD and those who remain to lose all motivation. Continuing to follow someone who is truly not a leader will only be totally and completely detrimental to BISD. Dr. Gutierrez's blatantly disrespectful attitude and poor management style are more than any student, employee, or community should have to endure. Therefore, be it resolved and petitioned to the Brownsville Independent School District Board of Trustees that students, parents, employees, and community members have lost all trust, faith, and confidence in Dr. Rene Gutierrez as Superintendent of Brownsville Independent School District and express a sentiment of no confidence.
Yes, that is a handful. But I'm already getting several text messages about that. So we just went live on the petition as she started reading it. So we had not launched it until now. Like we mentioned, we have tried every other alternative method to communicate these concerns and issues, but we cannot continue to wait, any longer and give them the benefit of the doubt that they are going to wake up and realize what they are doing to Brownsville ISD. So I'm sorry, but a lot of the employees from Brownsville are longtime employees from Brownsville and residents and went to school in Brownsville, and they do not want to sit back and just let BISD go down the drain like this. So the petition has been put on Facebook. We are going to go ahead and text it out to all of our members a little bit after the show. We're going to see if we can put the link on the comments section. Veronica, I don't know if you can pull it from the Facebook and put the link on there. If you all have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know. right now would be a perfect time for you to ask the questions on it. I know not 100% of the employees are going to agree with this, and I understand that. And I understand that there's a percentage that are going to fear retaliation, or they're going to fear of going public with this. We understand that completely, because those are the tactics he uses. But we cannot hold back. So if you feel you cannot, if you feel that you cannot sign it because you are fearful, then please find 10 other people who will sign it for you, because we're only acting on your request. We are acting on the amount of concerns, the amount of fear that is being out there in the community right now. We're not acting on our own benefit here, because this could be easy for me to just sit back and say, oh, well, this is what it is. And, oh, I'm sure he's going to get it together soon. But no, we're 6 months into this. He hasn't gotten it together. And I'll be honest, I don't mean to be rude. I don't think he can get it together. He is not capable of being able to do that. So I'm sorry, we have tried everything that we can, but when lives are at stake here, we can't sit back. There's a question here from Penny Cavazos. Can anyone sign the petition? Yes, anyone can sign it. So feel free to click on the link here that on the comments section, and from there you can forward it to anyone that you feel would agree with this. If they've heard you complain about the different issues going on in Brownsville, have them sign it. And if anybody else, any parents that are frustrated, because I know a lot of people have had parents that are so tired, then have them sign it, forward it to them. Okay, thank you. I will push for this petition, and I am more than ready to quit if things do not change. And that is just heartbreaking to hear of people going through that, because it's not right. It is not right, and we cannot just sit back and do nothing about it. I know it's not easy being vocal. It's not easy taking a stand on things, but we have to. We can't sit back here. This is not just a minor thing that we're pushing for. This is your health. These are your rights that are being violated. These are a lot of different things that you're entitled to, and we need to take action on it. You want to read some of the comments?
Yeah, let me move up because I scrolled all the way down. Okay, I'm going to go all the way to the top. Ida, good job in what you told the board at the BISD meeting. Good on you for trying to make sure you get your time to talk. Esa gente es bañada, yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Myra. Let me scroll down. We already saw that one. We saw that one. We saw that one. We saw that one. What was it all to show, the meeting? I mean, I guess it was.
Yeah, it looks like it was.
Yeah. Is it true that they have all power at warehouse send it out to campuses
I think it's
now?
PPE. I think it's
Oh.
all PPE at warehouse. Send it out to the campuses now. I'm not aware of that, to be honest. So it could be, because maybe that's how they're counting it. But I do know that there's a lot of campuses short on PPE, and departments as well.
Yep. We have until 2023. That's correct.
The reason they have nothing else to do is they need to have signatures to provoke. Look, we have proof. Yes, and we will get the signatures. I'm sorry, I came in late. Could you please go over?
Patty, there really wasn't a final decision made. They talked about a soft lockdown, and then that they're still trying to get an extension, and that they're talking to the state representatives and state officials. Ida, I can't even answer it.
Yeah, it was. There was no clear decisions on certain things. They're still going to look into this. They're going to look into that. So they did not decide about or approve anything for the fall semester. So we are just going to continue to see. We are going to continue to put the pressure on this, and that is all we can do. What we ask of you guys is to continue to reach out to the school board members. They need to hear it from you. They need to hear your concerns.
They need to hear it, guys, because they think it's just me and Ida.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, they think it's just me and Ida, and it really is not.
No. Yeah. And so that's all that we can do. I was really hoping that there was going to be a decision, because it's very difficult for the educators, for all staff, to try to plan accordingly when you're going on a week by week basis of, are we going to continue the distance learning, or are we going back to face? What's going on? So I know it's very difficult, and that is why we were pushing and putting pressure for them to give us a long-term decision, at least for the first semester. It didn't happen.
What I don't understand, Ida, is why BISD can't, but PI can.
It's about, honestly, it's about, do you want to put your employees first and their health, or you just are not bold enough to make the decision? So that is my impression, because of what I'm getting of his actions, because his story about the funding and this and that, it impacts PI just the same. So there's no reason why PI, if one district can do it, then we can do it too.
Correct.
So that's not an excuse.
Miss Patty Cakes, you can promote and advocate by calling the board members and advocate for whatever it is that you know that is needing to be changed. And the petition will be available on our Facebook page. I linked it in, I put it in our chat. And we'll see if we can probably put it also on our website, so that it's you can just find it more easily there. I agree 100%. Do it. I will help gather signatures. Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. Making decisions during pandemic without medical input. Yes. So the task force never included any medical professional, but it didn't include anybody.
No.
Really. Like, it didn't include anybody from Brownsville. It didn't include anybody from any departments.
And on top of that, the task force that they so-called claim to have and were put in the safety plan, the meetings that they said that they had, they did not have. So that's the thing. That's the other thing. They put out this safety plan of action, and it's not being followed. It's just a waste of paper, to be very honest. And it's not that I'm being rude or I'm being negative. I'm just being honest about what they're putting out there.
Right.
OBE has always been very professional, but we have never dealt with an administration like this. And like I said, we are not in your normal times of where we can just sit back and wait for them to wake up and realize they're doing this wrong. Not when.
But see, you even heard Ms. Garza Perez say she tried to call.
Oh, yeah.
And she still hasn't gotten a response.
That is correct.
This is somebody that you should be working with in the community for the betterment of the community and the betterment of the district, and there's no response.
Exactly.
So that's another person to add to the one person that's complaining.
Yes. So I guess that's 3 now. So yes, that's another. It's a perfect example. I mean, it continues to come. They continue to come out and stuff where it's catching him in a bad light, and so some of it has to be true. So how
Right.
come she has reached out and she's trying to do something for this community to have a better turnout for the census, and he hasn't responded? That's not.
And that is going to positively impact the district as well. So we're
Yes.
losing, the district is going to lose out on money, which they're very worried about, which is why we're not doing the extension for this distance learning, because we're not going to get funded. But yet this is funding for 10 years and we're not responding.
That is correct. I think it's the mayor told the mayor and or the county judge they had no authority over a school district. Oh, yes. I mean, that's the type of relationship he's building with the city and county.
Yeah.
Send it. Let me sign. Okay. Ms. Murillo, it is on our Facebook, and it is also on the link, but I will send it to you after the show.
Oh, we saw this one.
Okay.
We saw this one. Get people in the community to sign. Yes, they said yes. The BISD community. Yes.
Yes. Anybody in the community can sign it. Okay. You want to read it? I love.
All of this time, he just spoke of going back. He never had a clear plan to keep us safe and blamed the state, the country, the county judge, and everyone else. He never said that as a leader, he was putting us first.
Definitely. You are absolutely correct on that, Tanya. I heard that there were requests to detain the face-to-face classes. Is this a local, district, or state matter? We have no idea. There is still no clear guidance as to where the state stands on this. But like we mentioned, the district needs to do what is best for Brownsville, and they need to step up and take action, just like some other districts have. He wouldn't be the first. He wouldn't be the first that would step up and take action. So, there comes a time that he's going to have to make tough decisions. And that's what he gets paid for as superintendent. He wanted to be superintendent to one of the largest districts in the valley. Well, this comes with that. You have to make the tough decisions. And we cannot wait any longer. Go ahead. Oh,
Thank you, Ms. Abate. Petition shared. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be texting it out to all of our members.
Thank you, AOBE. I feel very stressed with everything they are asking us to do, and nothing was prepared already. And everything is on the teachers' grades, connecting with parents to Google Classroom when no one showed us, calling parents with no Wi-Fi daily. Then they want to do TPRI testing online during asynchronous time as well. The reading academies, they have mentioned a new lesson plan platform. It's too much.
Oh, goodness. It is ridiculous. It is so upsetting. And that is why, Violet, we need your help in getting this out, this petition. We cannot stand back and let Dr. Gutierrez continue with this type of leadership. Your voice matters. Every single employee in BISD has a voice, and their voice matters.
Yeah. Thank you for standing up strong. We need your type of leadership. No fear to make changes, guys. And the bottom line is there is nothing to fear. What are they going to do? Anything that comes after you bring up something or whatever is considered retaliation. And I mean, that can be taken care of.
Exactly.
They said soft opening like restaurants and bars. Well,
Yeah. Exactly. But of course, but there was no details. There's never details. Just like there was never any details or clarification on who is an essential employee. So on this soft opening, who knows what the details are going to be.
Yep. Graciela G. Ramirez, I agree. We're in great hands. They are exemplary leaders for AOB. They never sugarcoat. And we don't. We don't sugarcoat, but when we speak it after we have already researched and made sure that it is factual. And we try to do it as professional as possible, but it doesn't seem, it falls on deaf ears. I mean, it's, and if we go back face to face, I'm sure they will expect us to teach online too. Just doing online is more work than face to face, and now doing both is too much. And so that was a question that was posed to me a couple of days ago. What's going to happen if, one question was posed, if a classroom has 20 some students that all the parents said yes for some reason to send them back, what happens? Well, it was said that social distancing is not mandatory. Ida?
Yes, apparently that now they're starting to say that is what TEA is putting out. Social distancing is not mandatory. The class ratio can go up to 22, and that there is no limits on that. So the principals were told that yesterday or the day before at some meeting. They were told verbally, of course, not written, that this is what TEA has put out. So we have researched what TEA has put out. They have not done anything differently from their previous recommendations. The last recommendations that they put out were on September the 2nd, I believe it was. It was either the 2nd or the 6th, and it still was recommending the 6 feet of social distancing and the reduced class size. So again, show it to us in writing, because we're tired of just hearing it verbally, because not enough trust has been built from the superintendent and his top cabinet where we can take them at their word. I'm not saying that these principals are lying. I am not saying that. They are doing the best that they can with what they are being given to work with. So we don't blame the principals here. We don't. We clearly blame the superintendent and his 2 deputies, okay, for their lack of leadership and communication with the employees. So this on TEA's changes, we would like to see it in writing.
Yep. Thank you so much for standing up to them in the boardroom. Si se puede. Thank you, Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
We appreciate you not giving up and continuing to stand up to Dr. Gutierrez. After hearing everything all at once, I truly believe that Dr. Gutierrez does not care about BISD. And that is the consensus of many.
Yes.
It's not only the consensus of many employees. I've heard it from parents too. What is the district doing? Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
How is this putting my child first? What happens? And what happens if somebody gets sick at the campus?
Exactly.
I don't know, because some campuses close down, some don't close down, some are getting cleaned, some are getting disinfected. I don't know, because nothing's in writing.
Yep. It's inequity across the district in every which way. So that's the thing that we need to, see what this is the next level of what we have to take it to, because we cannot just sit back.
Correct.
Some cafeteria managers are rude. I am a bus monitor. I can't pay dues. And boy, I do vote on local level. Well, good. I am glad that you do vote at the local level, and you need to vote at all levels, because this is the most important election that we're going to have. And if we continue to vote for the same people, the same decision makers, we're going to continue to get what we are getting right now. So it is up to you to take action and to take other people to vote. And as far as people being rude, They're learning it right from the top. They are learning it right from the top, and it's trickling down. Because if their main leader thinks it is okay to throw around verbal directives like we're giving away candy and thinks it's no big deal, well, that's what these other people and other employees are going to start to do, because they think this is the way it's supposed to be, and it is not. We will bring the respect back to BISD. It will not continue like this. Why is TEA working from home?
Great question.
Exactly. In
Great
fact, why is TASB also working from home? Because TASB does virtual meetings. I'll tell you, I work from home because my employer does not allow me to do face-to-face. And that is why, how can I work from home and not strongly advocate for our members to work remotely when it's possible? I can do all my work remotely. So that is where I have a problem, where TEA makes these bogus recommendations and TASB makes these recommendations, but yet they're sitting in the safety of their own home. Just like the superintendent is in the safety of his big office.
As a state and national association, should we offer them our support or petition higher up? Coworkers state that their belief is Dr. Gutierrez's hands are tied based on the state's decision.
And that is an excellent question and comment. So thank you, Mr. Pedro, for making that. If you follow our state affiliated association, Texas State Teachers Association, you will see where we do petition higher up at the state and national level. Okay. The state level is Texas State Teachers Association, and we are petitioning the decision makers, legislators at that level. And at the national level, it's NEA, and we are also doing the same at that level. So, oh yes, we definitely put the pressure at all levels. So as AOBE, we do follow them and we do advocate at that level, but here we're mostly advocating at the local level. So there is certain things that there is going to be some boundaries that Dr. Gutierrez is going to have, but he has failed as a leader of this big district. He has in a lot of the decisions that he has made and the lack of decision making, okay? Lack of proper communication. You cannot be giving verbal instructions to 54 principals plus directors and expect the exact information to be taken back to all of those campuses and departments. It's not going to happen. And all because he is scared to put it in writing. So this is where he's failing. So this is where we're calling him out, where he is failing at the local level. But definitely follow the state Facebook page and the national one, and do advocate and petition at those levels as well, for sure. But this is where we're taking action locally.
There was no expertise input into the decisions seen today. It looks like an experiment. Nothing looks valid or realistic to the needs of everyone who is part of the education system. They are not taking any considerations from employees, which are the backbone of BISD. CDC, last time I heard, is 10 feet away from each other. Not realistic at school. Thank you, Myra. That is fact. What worries me is that social distancing is recommended. It is not required by TEA. We need to know ASAP because we need to plan. We need to make decisions about our safety. Classrooms need to be prepared. We are busy working 10 to 12 hours or more a day. There's no time to go prep classrooms. So then we'll be asked to go voluntarily go in on a Saturday. We are working nonstop. We need a plan for the second 6 weeks yesterday. The days are flying by. Thank you, AOBE. Keep fighting for us and for our children. Yes, the days are flying by. It's going by really fast. And you know, there needs to be a plan. People need to know what's going to be happening. And still, there was a we're still trying.
Mm-hmm.
They said that if a teacher got sick, they would close the area where the teacher was at, not the school.
Yeah, and even at that, it's we have a lot of concerns with the lack. Well, I can't even say lack of. There is absolutely no contact tracing that is being done. If you have your campus principal that comes out positive, okay, who is making contact with that principal to write down and find out every person that principal came in contact with for the last few days? None of this is being done. Plus, we have our custodians, because we don't have professional staff going in to disinfect as some districts do. Some districts actually have hired a professional company to come in and disinfect. Okay, so here in Brownsville, we have our custodians coming in, not knowing who it is that was positive, what area is a hot area that I have to be, take extra precaution.
Yep.
Yes. So they're going in blindly with thin gloves and just a thin mask and hand sanitizers, or not hand sanitizers, but it's a disinfecting spray, because the Clorox machine has been out of use because they don't have the liquid for it since mid-July. And again, they did all this publicity about that Clorox machine. So the employees are under the impression that this Clorox machine that costs millions of dollars is being used in the district, and it is not. So again, these people think that it's safe, and it's not. And we're only bringing you the truth of what we are finding out, and this cannot continue. We cannot continue to be lied to, because there's too much at stake here.
I have no one in the district. My kids are in college, but I feel bad for all teachers, paras, nurses, FNS. The board has no remorse.
Yep.
I worry so much. Our youngest infant has been 6 weeks. We are licensed for infants up to 17 months. I mean, I don't know what to say, Ida. I just, it's just really upsetting that the morale for everybody is so low. And, it could have been avoided. It could have been, if they would have taken into consideration that, people are overwhelmed just with the pandemic itself, because there is not one person that you can say that you don't know has lost a loved one. I mean, it's the amount of people that have lost loved ones is insane. And, that in itself is already overwhelming. Then you add on that we're now distance learning, and a lot of us, including myself, are trying to figure out technology as we go, trying to take all these extra professional development courses to learn the new platform when I had already gotten used to the Zoom, which Zoom, by the way, is FERPA and HIPAA certified.
Yeah.
So, finally get used to that one. And now, let's change it to Google Meets. Oh, but wait, in the end of September, now we're not going to be Google Meets anymore. We're going to be Schoology. I mean, it's we're not sitting at home twiddling our fingers. It's 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I'm still trying to do paperwork, finish up lesson plans, make sure everything is working, and I have everything ready to share for the next day for my class. Trying to figure a way to make it to where it's interesting and interactive, and they want to stay in front of the camera, because some of my kids are little. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy, and it's not something that is only from 8 to 3. no teacher is done at 3:00. Not
No.
one teacher is done.
No.
We are literally hours, and we're calling each other. We're getting into Google Meets with each other's, playing with stuff, making sure, can you see it? What does it look like? Can you hear the video? We're trying to figure out, how do we share it? Because that hasn't really been taught to us. So we're kind of figuring it out as we go. And this is after a long day of teaching already, of calling parents, of sending messages, I'm missing an assignment, trying to figure out why one hasn't logged in. Are they missing a computer? It's just so many things. Plus, we have our kids at home who we also have to be managing them online, making sure they're getting done what they need to be getting done. I only have one. I'm lucky I only have one. But there's people who have 4 or 5 kids while they're still working,
Yeah, but you have one at home.
One at home. My older one he's independent and beautiful, handsome young man. But my little one that's here, I have to be on him. It's his first year in middle school. So he has to get used to 8 teachers and then being organized. And, it's a lot. And like I said, I'm lucky I only have one here at home. There's people who have multiple. There's people who have their kids with disabilities. And on top of that, they still have to work too. And there's not being any compassion shown. And there's just, it's a lot. And the district should take that into consideration and show some compassion.
There's absolutely no compassion being shown by the district at this time. And that's what is really sad, that when you don't show compassion and show appreciation for your employees, you're going to get the minimum amount back from them. And not only that, we're hoping that they hold on until this change is coming. And we're starting with this petition. We're starting with an election of our endorsed candidates that were picked by our membership. And we're going to continue to work hard, but we need your help on this. We need everybody's help to bring about this change. So we're going to wrap it up, because I got messages that they want some interviews with the television in regards to this petition. We will be texting it out. I know somebody was asking, what are we petitioning? We are petitioning to the board a vote of no confidence on Dr. Gutierrez as superintendent for Brownsville ISD. Okay, the link is in the comment section. You can also find it on our Facebook page, which is Association of Brownsville Educators, and it will be texted out to our members. So again, get anybody that you know that you have heard complain about the issues going on in Brownsville, any frustrated parents, students, things like that, all of our employees, community members. We need to put Brownsville back on the map, okay? We need to bring respect back to the workplace. We need to work on morale. We need to listen to our employees. Like they've said several times, this is new for everyone. So why do you continue to think you have all the answers? You do not have all the answers, Dr. Gutierrez. I am sorry. Dr. Cantu, you do not have all the answers, okay? And that is why you think by putting out hotspots that exceeded the data plan within the first 2 weeks, it was going to be a great idea and we were going to applaud you and say, what a great job. No, it's not good enough, because are the teachers off the hook for the rest of the 6 weeks or whenever the data plan renews? No. So just like you want to hold the teachers accountable, you need to hold yourself accountable too. It starts at the top. So again, we ask you to promote, push, share the petition of no confidence on for Dr. Gutierrez. And we thank you for everything, for your support, for your time. I know we're going on an hour and 45 minutes. So we thank you for your time, and we will see you next week. Next
One
week
more
we
thing,
will.
Ida.
Yes, I'm sorry. Next week, we will be talking to the different endorsed candidates of AOBE. And this is the schedule. We are going in order by the places. So first, we will have Mr. Frankie Olivo for place 2. That is next Thursday at 7. Then we will have Mr. Erasmo Castro for place 5. The following Thursday, September 24th, Mr. Coach Joe Rodriguez, October 1st, and Mr. Carlos Elizondo, October 8th. We will be dedicating the entire shows to them. It will give you an opportunity to ask your questions, get to know your candidates, and everything is fair. So you guys are able to ask any questions that you have for them. So we want you to be able to believe in the candidates and be able to push in order to bring about the change that we need at BISD. So again, we thank you. We ask you to continue to hold on. We're going to do everything that we can to bring about the change that we need, but we can't do it alone. We need your help.
We're all in this together, guys. We're in this together, and we need your help to push that petition. Anybody can sign it, so make sure you get family members, neighbors, whoever you can to sign it. And we need to make a change, guys. We need to make a change for the betterment of our district, and we need to make a change for the betterment of the morale of our people.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much and we'll see you guys next